Hello and welcome to another episode of Olsem Wanem. I'm Florence John Duo. We now talk about the sexual and reproductive health rights of adolescents or young people. We highlight why it is important for them to know these rights. A person has the right to make decisions about their own bodies, and no one should dictate that. Sexual and reproductive rights for adolescents is said to have the highest unmet need. According to a study by Save the Children, young people are at high risk of contracting HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases, yet they do not have access to quality sexual and reproductive health information and services. This is no different for the young people in PNG.
We need to first understand that sexual and reproductive health is a human right. It's the right of every individual to be able to decide through an informed choice about their bodies, about their lives. And that is why it is an inherent choice for everyone to be able to make. And it is even much more so for young people and for adolescents. Because when you talk about sexual and reproductive rights, it's talking about their ability to actually be able to decide whether, when, and choose how to marry. It's talking about them being able to choose whether, when, and how many children they should have, and whether, when, and whom to have sex with. And this is so pertinent for young people because in most of our societies, these rights are being violated. When it comes to adolescents globally, they're said to be between the ages of 10 to 19 years. Young people are said to be between the ages of 15 to 24 years. According to the PNG National Youth Policy, it actually puts young people between the ages of 12 to 25 years. Now that is the age group where their rights are being violated. It's so rampant, it's so common. And we're going to be, and a lot of the reasons why that is happening is also because of a lack of awareness by these young people of these rights, because they don't even know they have the rights. And our institutions propagate this lack of rights. It propagates this lack of knowledge of these rights to these young people. They're not even aware. And so they cannot even demand for the rights that belongs to them. So this is quite rampant. This is quite common. And I'm sure all of us will be able to agree with the fact that within that age group, a lot of them don't even know they have the rights.
We question as to why young people are not aware of these rights in order to make informed decisions. Some may say it's ignorance from the young people themselves. Others may say it is because of the lack of awareness, and others may blame it on discrimination in the society we live in.
The structures that exist in our societies don't allow young people to even know they have these rights. And because they don't know, they can't demand for the rights. They can't speak up for those rights. And a lot of times that affects their health, that affects their bodies. Because it is when you know your right that you are empowered to be able to make the right choices, to say, I will say no, even when I'm coerced into sex. It is when you know you have a right that you'll be able to be empowered to say, I will delay having sex when I'm not ready to have sex. It is when you know your rights that you're able to be empowered to actually say, I won't get married now because I need to go to school, I want to further my education, or I want to be better in life. And it's when you actually know your rights that you'll be able to avoid risky sexual behaviors. Multiple sexual partners, for example, or even having sex without protection. These are some things that come with knowing rights. But unfortunately, that is not happening because our structures, both social, cultural, and religious, do not permit it. Because we believe that children or young people or adolescents within that age don't need to know. And so we don't encourage that kind of information to be passed across to them.
The consequences of young people not being aware of their sexual and reproductive rights lead to many other issues that are currently being faced in our country.
The sexual and reproductive health policy of PNG states that young people, particularly young females, are the most that contact HIV and AIDS. The highest percentage of HIV and AIDS is in these young people, and especially the females. Also, it has been seen that 30% of all maternal deaths occurring from pregnancy and deliveries is amongst young people. When they know their rights and they know the repercussions, then they are able to avoid these things. They're able to speak up and say, no, I would prefer to delay. But unfortunately, this information is not available to them.
When and how to pass on information on sexual and reproductive health is crucial so adolescents are not misinformed.
Now, there is something about the young people of today. They are quite digital literate. A lot of them are on the internet. A lot of them are on social media. Unfortunately, a lot of the information they are getting from them are incorrect. Misinformation, inaccurate information. And so government, all critical stakeholders, churches, development partners, donors, whoever we are, parents, we all have a role to play to ensure that the right information gets across to young people. One of the major reasons why a lot of things are happening, a lot of adverse effects are occurring with our young people is because of this lack of proper information. They get a lot of misinformation from the social media and sometimes even from peers. So there has to be a very strategic and very positive way of getting the right information to the young people to ensure that they get the right one, and so that way they are able to actually exercise their rights. And like I said, the first place is the school. Comprehensive sexual education has to be taught in schools. A lot of people say, oh, when you teach them these things, it gets them to now, indulge in sex and then or they will go bad. No. When you provide the right information, that is what actually protects them and shows them exactly this is what we should be doing, and you catch them very young. So the comprehensive sexual education is very important. Teachers need to be trained on it and so know how to pass across appropriate information. So we need to begin to train our health providers to be youth-friendly. They need to know how to pass across information to them, not to be biased, not to use their own judgmental attitudes to drive away young people. Encourage them to come to them. So we say make the service providers youth-friendly themselves. Let them understand exactly the kind of language they need to use to speak to these young people, the kind of information that should be passed across to them. And that way we'll be reaching out a lot of information to them. And then we also, as stakeholders, to take advantage of the social media. So as negative information is being passed to them there, we counteract it with the positive information. They're able to get that. We are able to, through the social media, through traditional media, like TV, like radio, we are able to pass across the right information to them. Slowly but surely, they get the right information, make the right choices, and that way it's going to affect the entire society, because sexual and reproductive health problems is passed into the society more through young people. If we can actually get them to do the right things, we'll find out that these ills will reduce a lot in our society.
Welcome back. We now talk about the young people's access to sexual and reproductive health services and information. Maristopes PNG is a service provider and they have reached thousands of people through their outreach programs. PNG has the biggest population in the Pacific Island countries with a population growth rate of about 3.1%. According to a report by the United Nations Population Fund in PNG, every 25 years, our population doubles. We are witnessing many teenage pregnancies, hence, a key group of Papua New Guineans whom have been left out when it comes to family planning and sexual reproductive health education are our adolescents. This group of young people have to be aware of this so they can make better choices in life which will not have a negative impact on their education journey or life in general.
My name is Nikita Abel and I am an intern with Maristopes PNG. Personal development is already part of the PNG curriculum. However, it is taught more as a science. There should be more stress on behavioral change, psychological changes, because these hormonal changes in an adolescent is normal. I feel that adolescents should feel that it is It is okay to go to their families to talk about these issues and for them to seek advice from people like Mary Stopes.
Young men and women are encouraged to seek either it be advice or services provided for family planning, and it is not something to be ashamed of.
I have the implant. I got the implant when I started university. I was 18. I wanted to complete my university without an unwanted pregnancy. I encourage young adults and adolescents to come forward and seek family planning. I feel that it's empowering. I know that I can finish my university without unwanted pregnancies, and I feel that everyone should have the same opportunity. It gives me the power over my own body, and it gives me the choice of when I can have children, when I want children.
Mary Stopes PNG has reached thousands of Papua New Guineans, providing information and family planning services to them, and they plan to increase their clients this year.
Annually, in our program, we see more than 40,000 clients. In all the provinces that we work and through clinics or outreach channels. And we are going to increase that to up to 60,000 or 70,000 from this year, and we are very hopeful that we will be able to do that. So that's the total number of clients that we see, and depending on the population in the province and the acceptance of family planning in the province or in the locality, the number of clients that would turn up at a clinic or outreach could be very different. The provinces where we have been for quite some time, like NCD, Eastern Highlands, Western Highlands, Morobe, we do see quite a number of clients turning up for our services voluntarily. And the other new provinces like Western or Central or Madang, it's a bit low, but we do see the numbers are increasing. And then we take the services to outreach, and with awareness, there's a lot of people who are making this good choice for themselves.
Parents are also encouraged to openly speak of the importance of family planning with their children in homes, as parents are the first teachers.
A young boy or a young girl, you can become a mother or father some 5 or 6 or 7 years or so. You can be a mother or father. So it's good for father and mother in a home to talk about sexual reproductive health and family planning to their children. So when they grow up, they have the message already, and when they want to start a family planning is in their head.
All relevant stakeholders are encouraged to use every opportunity they get to impart information to the young people.
Religious institutions, the churches, faith is a major basic aspect of any human life. Every one of us, somehow we have that part in us. And a lot of us, especially in PNG, which is a Christian nation, majority of us will go to church. And that is a big platform to actually pass across information to young people. Church should begin to take advantage of this platform and use that in our youth services, platforms, societies, to begin to look at ways of actually educating our young people. We are having a lot of missed opportunities when we don't talk about this, because it has been found from studies that over 60 or 70% of what occupies a young person's mind are issues of sex and sexual relations. And so if we don't talk about it, it's a real missed opportunity. And then they begin to seek for that information outside and get the wrong one. So the church also should be critically involved. Parents should be involved. These are the two major areas where children, adolescents are actually honed, actually nurtured. So if they're not properly nurtured from there, then they get the wrong information from outside.
You're watching Olsem Wanem. We collected some views from the public on why many young people hesitate to seek information and health care from service providers in the country. These are what some had to say. The Olsem Wanem team was out and about collecting views from people on the topic of sexual and reproductive health rights and why most young people do not access the information they need.
Nowadays, 20 young people lo catch up, no go out around them and plan also go lo kind and mention ways. But time we got heavy or time we got sick time, lo go housing na him help him also feel him also same sa kill him all. So also feel him at logo no good me go na no good story bagolo schoolmate or story bagolo outline or family all. So also no lo sa go sick. So that's all got plenty all stuff on them sick. Or stuff on them problem, but all less to talk out. So every stuff on them all now let stuff out. So.
Learn plan now, like lo tintin lo 1 man it's open free, but tintin lo learn plan man he had same person sa idea in lo normal daily life misago. So lo simple la basic all tintin advice lo ausik. Plenty learn plan ba ad logo. Because same stuff inside na, it's the same story more logo simple la advice.
It is taboo to discuss these things openly, publicly. In our traditions and customs. This is Papua New Guinea. But because we have, we're modernizing, we've already gone past that stage. So there's like, as I've explained earlier, Facebook and all these things. These are part of education and, educating the young in terms of information.
From my point of view, I think they don't feel that free to go, probably due to embarrassment. But I think our social setting has a big, what can I say, contributes to this, like when it comes to things like that, it's more sacred. In the communities, it's not openly talked about like in the cities and settlements. So that could be one reason why the youngsters are probably not feeling free to go and seek help. I wish I had plenty daughters, but I only have one, and yes, I think I should do that. I have talked about these things. They are healthy to talk about. Because children, the girls especially, have to know about these things. Because if they are not aware of them, then along the way, many bad things happen.
It depends on the different type of people. Some young people, especially all girls, where all come low, it depends on the family background. All come low, some family where also educating all the house, at the same time Christian background, where only the way all brought up long and Muslim come up one email blood system long also only flexible long talks how will pap mama or even pastor long all or usate mera long all that all Muslim na all sexy advice long all na also go.
Welcome back to Olsem Wanem. Parents are said to be the first teachers. We question if parents are having open conversations at home with their children on the topic of sexual reproductive health care and rights.
Nowadays, Mama, I think time now changed. So all need to talk more all picnic. Doon picnic now, especially all young girls. Now all grow kamanda plan the peer group, plan the entertainment to us, plan the all daddy boss to walk around na walk aggressive all young to plan the all mommy boss to walk around aggressive all young line to plan the bagra walk come up, but then no choice so Mama need to talk all young love long all. At least all masawa na one is all walking, which is right or wrong. At least all masawa na around them good la.
Now install more and more na technology na sila mo picnic by. Time all access to mobile phone, all access to over so. Earlier the school more picnic lo, good la no good. Better. Suppose me, school more society na come na time all access to mobile phone na internet na sila no. Imi bagar more because line in basics way good la no good talk more. So now by time go bigla no war sani go out of van. By me at lo control mo so. Good la lo by me school mo pigni na on man meri inside lo house time mo. So lo tradition na culture custom limi. Still passing me planting man meri. So this last loki me na stop me lo school mo pigni laws. But
in this kind of society that we live in now, in this changing world, contemporary PNG, there's a lot of things happening. And especially girls, they need to be educated back at home. So there is no unwanted pregnancy or unnecessary abortions, things like that taking place. Better start at home. If the children are educated on these things back at home, then when they go out, they'll probably feel free. They know that there are places where they can get help. But if it's restricted at home, and it's not talked about freely at home, then they might also not feel free to go out there and look for help.
Especially in the city, you may plan the pap mama, you may fail. You may talk city life hard, especially settlement, me not talk working class settlement. Me plus start long and mosem plan you mean busy lo finding money lo city long look out in family and this last, so we forget about our children. All we know, people think all go to school or morning na come back na, and then people think also more teacher la anymore la classroom, but this is not happening. So all go to internet, Facebook, kind can influence blow outside country or look him na, all go in lo this la track without knowing that he got good plan or no good stuff. One time all no sabe, all go inside na only backgrab him life long all this la. But the important factor or background long or young people you me today man a marry one time responsibility style of me mama.
Very, very important that parents become involved in the generation we're in. There's a common saying globally that charity begins at home. If we're going to make an impact in the lives of adolescents and young people, it must begin from the home. The child that is growing up spends most of the time in the home. If information is not being passed across from the parents, right information, they will seek for the information outside. And most of the time they will get the wrong ones because their peers that are trying to give them this information don't know any better themselves. They probably got the information from somewhere and they just added on their own and their ideas, and they spread this information to one another. This one says one thing to the other person. The other person now says, oh, this, and processes it in one way in his mind, adds his own to it, passes it on to another person, and that is how misinformation keeps passing across to these young people. And then they get into risky behaviors, and at the end of the day, it has adverse effects on them. But if parents who are matured, who have gone through this, they know the right things, they know the truth, also inform themselves, educate themselves as parents, and then also pass this information to their children in the right manner, then children will be adequately informed. When they meet with negative information outside, they will naturally rebut this information because they've got the right information from their parents. So it's so important that parents begin to play their role, take part in the information and education of their children and their words to ensure that the right information is actually passed across to them. So a lot of parents are shy at doing that because they say, how do we even, pass this information across? How do we teach our children to do the right thing and things like that? But the truth is that you are their parent and you are the one that brought these children into the world. And at a very early age, the first thing I would say is that at a very early age, the parents should start and begin to educate them in ways that will help them to understand.
And that brings us to the end of our program. Thank you to all who have participated in this week's Olsem Wanem episode. If you have any comments, questions, or stories you would like to share with us, please do not hesitate to send us an email via the address now showing on your screen, or you can post it on our Olsem Wanem Facebook page. On behalf of the entire Olsem Wanem team, I'm Florence John Duo. Thank you for watching and have a pleasant evening.